From the CSI Softball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet welcomes you back into NCAA Division II softball coverage on the ECC Network. In Game 2 of today's non-conference doubleheader, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Lincoln University Lions. Kennedy Ruth in the circle for the Dolphins, and her first pitch is in for a called strike one.
Center fielder, number 7, Aaliyah Rose.
Aaliyah Rose will lead it off here in this top of the first inning. Nice Game 1 victory for the Dolphins, Joe, 9-1 in 5 innings of play.
That's a called strike 2. 0-2 the count on Aaliyah Rose. The 0-2, swung on and missed. Ruth got Rose to chase there on the high rise pitch. One away.
Nice high fastball from Ruth. First punch out of the day, adding to her total on the season, which now increases to 37 strikeouts on the year, Joe. A 2.83 ERA, 3-3 on the season, her 10th appearance, her 9th start, 4 complete games and 42 innings pitched, 43 hits, 29 runs, 25 runs, 17 earned, 11 walks, and now after that last strikeout, 37 strikeouts on the season.
Amari Frederick, the batter here, behind 0-1. The 0-1, swung on and missed, 0-2.
She was well behind on that fastball once again. Ruth early on throwing a lot of gas on that fastball to start.
That's hit in the air.
I honestly lost it, Joe.
Well above us, well above us.
Okay. That's a good thing because I didn't know where that went. It's about to start hovering over the laptop to make sure all of it was okay.
Comes the 0-2. Just missed. 1-2. As Nick mentioned, the Dolphins picking up a 9-1 win in Game 1. Dolphins now 2-1 in 3 games against Lincoln. We mentioned it during our McDonald's pregame show ahead of the first game. These two teams last met 1 year ago to the day, as that's hit foul deep into the left field corner.
Just foul.
Not by much. Frederick making a bid for a home run there. One ball and 2 strikes the count. Pitch from Ruth, in for a called strike 3. 2 gone.
Back-to-back punch-outs to start this game for Ruth. A nice start to this one for the Dolphins, and let's see if Ruth now can get a 1-2-3 top of the first.
2 away in the inning. Erlyn Richardson, the batter.
The right fielder, number 5, Erlyn Richardson.
And she takes down an in-ball 1. So the dugout once again, Nick, coming in with the pronunciation. As that's taken outside. 2-0. Ireland. There's no way to get that from what's written. It's 2-0.
Can't even blame the public address at that point.
No. Yeah, you can go tell Joe, Steph. It's 3-0 now.
If you're going to do Ireland, then at least put a dash between the I and the R in the pronunciation.
Yeah, you know.
Right? It is what
we
it
got
is.
it now.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I would have put I-R-E, Lynn.
Yeah.
3-0. In for a strike. 3-1.
Richardson in Game 1, Joe, had the lone RBI for the Lions, was 2 for 3.
That's fouled off again. Stays 3-2.
Ruth now with a chance for a 1-2-3 first, and a chance to get strikeouts on all 3 of those outs.
3-2. Fouled off. Another payoff pitch upcoming in this lengthy battle between Ruth and Richardson. That's hit to the left side, played it short. Balderas, her throw right on the money to retire the side. Lions go down 1-2-3 in the first. Dolphins come to bat with no score.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Home first inning from the CSI softball complex. No score between the Dolphins and the Lions. Lincoln went down 1-2-3 in the road first inning as Anissa Acosta takes a called strike one.
Acosta, go ahead.
Get you the Dolphins lineup quickly, top to bottom. Acosta, Carcano, Balderas, Stalker, Wanzer, Warner, Judson, Paul, Alyssa Acosta, and then Kennedy Ruth in the circle.
I was going to mention Acosta was 1 for 3 in game 1 with an RBI in that game.
Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Acosta. And that's taken out of the zone, 2-1. Hit sharply to short, handled there cleanly, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1.
Hard hit ball towards short, but Kathy made the play at short to retire the first out of the inning. Give Ashlyn Sherman that first out.
Number 3,
Mariah Carcano, the batter now. Base is empty, 1 out.
And if you haven't heard, folks, we have the walk-up songs for game number 2.
So the issue with the walk-up transfer was files too large. Can't transfer that many music files in one email. We got the flash drive on site. Good to go for game 2. That being said, the walk-ups are rather loud as that's fouled away.
Just a bit. But is it really a CSI home game, Joe, if the music isn't loud?
It is not.
Good to be back.
To be fair, Nick, we do not have headsets today. We have
Yes.
microphones.
Yes. You've obviously used these back down in Florida when you were with Joe Calabrese, who, coincidentally, is our public address announcer here today.
Joe has been what I might call our savior in public address during baseball and softball season, making the game day staffing so much easier. We do expect him to get on the call for some softball once we have both baseball and softball at the same time, as that's taken high 2-2 to Carcano.
And I think we only have that one day, right? Am I wrong? Am I right
I
about
think
that?
we're down to one date now with both,
Yeah.
yeah. April 15th. That's hit through the middle for a base hit. Carcano with a line drive single to center gives the Dolphins a 1-out base runner.
A nice leadoff single for, or I should say 1-out single for Carcano right there, Joe. A good start to this game for the Dolphins, getting her on base. We saw what happened in game 1. She got on via the walk, stole a base, or I should say not a walk, but she got on base, start, got a stolen base, and then came around to score. Gave CSI an early 1-0 lead in that one.
Eileen Balderas, the batter, and immediately Carcano commands attention over at first base. For Lincoln in the field, first, third, Brown, Jex, Kathy, and Dove. Left to right in the outfield, Frederick, Rose, and Richardson. And then in the circle, excuse me. I was about to say Sherman in the circle, and I got tongue-tied. Ashlyn Sherman, the pitcher for Lincoln University.
Sherman on the year, 2-1. Her 5th appearance, 4th start. Has 2 complete games, an ERA of 4.12.
That's dribbled to third, knocked down. Throw to first, just in time from Dove. And Balderas is retired as Carcano moves up to second. And Nick, when we come back from break, you will be saying Sherman in the circle 3 times fast.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No?
But I think also lost in that play, Joe, is the Dolphins got a very big break because if that was caught at third, easy double play for the Lions to get out of the inning. That one got knocked down, allows Carcano now to move to second, and now Amanda Stalker has an RBI opportunity with 2 gone.
Stalker to the plate with Carcano in scoring position, and she's quickly behind 0-1. Stalker 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs in game 1. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1.
Dolphins now lead the all-time series between these 2 teams with a victory in game 1. Look to be 3-1 in the all-time series if they get the win here in game 2.
That's dribbled foul.
Just foul. Dolphins thought that one fair. Very puzzled by it.
Count 1 and 2 now.
And I can assure you, Joe, we talked about this in game 1. If we could hear what the dugouts are picking up from our audio, I got text confirmation that you can pick up what the dugouts are saying. Yes.
We're not that close. As that's hit foul deep into the left field corner, out of play.
Well, we're a little bit closer towards the Lincoln dugout. They heard what Lincoln was saying. I'm not sure if they can pick up what...
we're closer to the Dolphins dugout. We're to the left of this middle column behind
Well,
the
I
plate.
can tell you they picked up what Lincoln was saying in the last inning.
1 and 2 the count on Stalker. And she takes up and away, 2 and 2.
Nothing bad, but it's just the point that they can pick it up.
If it picks up anything bad, and it wasn't us. You know what I always say? The mic's always hot. 2 and 2. Foul ball.
Something that's also been hot this season, Joe, has been the Dolphins' bats. I mentioned that in game 1. A very nice hitting year for the Dolphins. They showed that in game 1 with a 9-hit performance and 9 runs in that 9-1 victory.
Well, I said it before, Nick. If you can, and the Dolphins did, you'd love to get out of that first game in as few innings as possible. Preserve that pitching. They did just that. Comes the 2-2. High ball 3. Stalker now with a full count. If she can keep the inning going, Olivia Wanzer would be next. (3-2). Fouled off again.
Might be the 3rd or 4th time that's a bat that Stalker's hit that one down the third base line. Earlier had a chance to get that one fair. It just went foul. And now has fouled off a couple more. It still remains 3 and 2.
Well, Sherman in the circle did that for you, Nick. Has to be careful. If she elevates that pitch and on the hands, it could be trouble. And I think she did just that as Stalker drops that one just inside the line. It's an extra base hit. Stalker slides into second base safely, and for the 2nd consecutive game, she has a first-inning RBI double.
Well, Joe, I think they call that deja vu.
I think they call me Joe Stradamus.
2 outs of the inning. Stalker gets an RBI double down the left field line, just staying fair. And for the 2nd straight game, as you mentioned, it's an RBI double for Stalker, and it's another 1-0 lead for the Dolphins here in the 1st.
And you could see it, Nick. She kept going after that pitch inside as Wanzer hits one deep to right center off the fence. That's an extra base hit. Stalker in to score. Wanzer into second base standing, and she trades places with Stalker following another CSI RBI double.
Nice hit right there from Wanzer, Joe. That one was crushed into right field, and if it had a little bit more elevation on it, certainly would have been a opposite field home run for Wanzer, adding to her team lead on the season. But now a 2-0 lead for the Dolphins, all coming via 2 outs. And now Olivia Warner comes up.
You said it, Nick. Wanzer did not miss by much. Dolphins with 3 hits in the inning now. The Carcano base had a line drive and then 2 rocket shots by Stalker and Wanzer.
Second look at that previous double from Wanzer. That one right off of that right center field wall. Easy RBI double for the Dolphins and for her, and now giving them an early 2-0 advantage in this game.
Count now 1 ball and 1 strike on Olivia Warner. Warner did not play in game 1. Believe she was a late arrival from class. Came in at about the midway point of that game as that's hit to short. Fielded cleanly, and the throw by Kathy is in time to retire Warner for the final out of the inning. But not before the Dolphins score twice on 3 base hits, 2 going for extra bases. RBI doubles by Amanda Stalker and Olivia Wanzer have put CSI in front, 2-0.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
The shortstop, number 2, Jordan Cathy.
Jordan Cathy leads it off here at the top of the second, Joe. A 2-0 lead for CSI via those I should say it's not 2 2-run doubles, but 2 RBI doubles.
2 out, RBI
There you
doubles.
go. A lot of 2s in that inning.
Quite a few.
And we're in inning number 2.
We sure are. Dolphins lead it 2-0. At the plate here, Jordan Cathy. She pops that one up foul.
I lost that one again.
Have to watch the camera, though, Nate.
Yeah,
Always have to make sure. I will scale the fence and make the save if necessary.
Make the home run bid in foul territory.
It wouldn't be the first time I saw somebody scale the fence back here. I'll never forget CUNY Championships many years back. We had a staffer doing pull-ups on the backstop. I had to get him down as that's popped up, and Eileen Balderas makes the catch.
Good job by you not name dropping who that person was.
Long time ago.
How about you scaling the fence in right field a few years ago when you were trying to set up our pitcher-batter
True.
camera?
Never again.
Never again.
If we-
It was a good idea at the time, but just a lot of stuff going into it.
It seemed like a good idea, and then it got windy, the
Yeah.
battery died, and it was no longer a good idea.
Yeah, a lot of zip ties and stuff to
No,
keep
thank
it up
you.
there. You know me, Joe. I'm not a fan of zip ties.
No.
Don't want to see them ever again.
Is that a Jey Uso reference?
No, it was not. It was not. It was not. It was a work reference from my other work outside of campus.
Tia Brown, the batter here. That's hit sharply to short. Another chance for Balderas, and there are 2 gone.
Although I will say I was getting some flashbacks when I saw that happen live.
Yeah. I'm officially out for WrestleMania this year. No Vegas trip.
Yeah, it's tough.
22, Ashlyn Sherman.
Does that mean you go to New Orleans the year after?
Uh,
It doesn't seem like it.
We'll see. Pitcher Ashlyn Sherman at the plate here takes down and in for ball 1.
It's got to be a little bit closer for me to go again. I had a nice little stopgap between the one I did, last year's Mania, and then the one prior to that, which is 35. It's been about like a 4 or 5 year gap for me in between each Mania I've gone to. So I probably would be the same thing until my next one.
Sherman ahead 2-0. The deciding factor on not going in Vegas is that I would have to switch hotels in order to be able to walk to both venues.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Not paying for parking twice. 2-0, fouled away. And you know me, I'm not a Vegas guy anyway.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised you were considering it.
The hotel was less than a mile from Allegiant Stadium. I've never been there. I'm a Raiders fan. Would have liked to check it out.
Could have gotten some nice gear.
Perhaps.
I'm sure you'll find a way to get some gear.
We'll find a way. That's hit to second. Warner. Short throw to first in time. And the Lions go down 1-2-3 in the second. Good start in the circle for Kennedy Ruth. Dolphins come to bat with a 2-0 lead after this break.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Taron Judson will lead off for the Dolphins here in the home second inning.
Put the
Staten
wrong
Island on
graphic
top of Lincoln 2-0.
Got to sort through these graphics, Joe. I put the wrong one up for just a hot second. Might just
That's
take the
all right.
graphic. I'll just take the graphic away. We don't need that one. That's for the intro.
Count 0-1 on Judson here. And she looks at a called strike 2.
Gets to start here in game 2. Did not start in game 1.
Judson, for most of the season, has been the first Dolphins bat off the bench as a pinch hitter. And the 0-2 misses outside. Player who is the Dolphins' first bat off the bench for much of last year has just left the complex. Natalia Kanoth likely departing for class. Much better student than I was, apparently, as that's grounded through the right side for a base hit. So Judson's on with a single.
I think you've probably told our softball audience about your adventures with classes and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't exactly great.
Is that putting it lightly?
To be fair, I had important things going on. I had to get back to my Madden Ultimate team. I had a business to run, Nick. All I know about business, I learned from Madden Ultimate Team.
All the numbers.
Idling Paul, the batter, and she takes a strike. Paul also seeing her first action of the day. Dolphins now with 4 hits in the game. Comes the 0-1. That misses, and they'll check on Judson at first.
Our scoreboard operator thought that was a strike. Count even at 1.
1-1. Up and away, 2-1.
Now, what does that say about the scoreboard operator when they think they know what the pitch was, but it wasn't what they thought it was?
It says he's inattentive.
He's an aspiring umpire.
He's the aspiring umpire, that's right. It's 2-1, and that's lined to left and caught. Judson back to first, and there's one away in the inning.
That was a hard hit ball into left field by Paul, but right there at the right time was Frederick, and it's allowed out number 1 for the Dolphins here in the home second.
That will bring up Alyssa Acosta.
The left fielder, number 12, Alyssa Acosta.
The way Joe announced that, it's as if Anissa just batted.
And funny enough, she's on deck.
She is on deck. That is a good point.
How often do we see the Acostas batting back-to-back?
Have we ever seen it is the question.
I don't know if we have.
It is possible that during Alyssa's freshman year
Maybe.
they hit 2-3 at one point. Definitely possible. That's it out to shallow left center and caught. Once again, Judson heads back to first, and our colleague Nick Durst is watching. Shout out to Nick. And he said, and I quote, "You buried Pat."
It wouldn't be the first time you buried someone on this broadcast.
True.
The first baseman, number 34, Anissa Acosta.
I don't think anyone's covered in more dirt than our other colleague watching, statistician Louis Matrone. As Acosta takes ball 1.
I'm sure they're enjoying some warm comfort right now. That last gust of wind was very, very uncomforting here.
Bit chilly with that wind gust, I have to admit. Comes the 1-0. And that's lined to right field. Base hit. And it gets by Richardson and all the way to the fence.
I might give the Dolphins a chance to score a run,
Judson
Joe.
is being waved home. And she will score standing. Anissa thought about it, but the ball did not get far enough from the third baseman, Dove. That's a 2-base error in right field by Richardson on the base hit by Acosta. And the Dolphins lead it 3-0.
Yeah, Dolphins take advantage of another misplay in right field. We saw that in game 1, Joe, as well. And the Dolphins got an RBI out of that one. Acosta gets that single into right. And then because of the error that happened in right field, it allowed her not only to go 2 bases, but it allowed Judson to score. And it's now a 3-0 Staten Island lead. As Carcano hits that one up the middle, and that one's through for a base hit. Acosta's going to score and give the Dolphins now a 4-0 lead. Carcano ripping that one up the middle, Joe. Past the diving shortstop. And now gives CSI not only their 6th hit of the game, but now a 4-0 lead.
Thank you for taking over, Nick, as I attended to some stats scoring. Eileen Balderas, the batter. The Dolphins lead now 4, and that is grounded through the left side for a base hit. Carcano moves up 1 base to second, and the Dolphins keep the line moving with 2 outs.
I was going to say another 2-out rally for the Dolphins. We saw that in inning number 1. We're now seeing it again here in inning number 2. They already have 7 hits in this game, Joe, after a 9-hit game 1. And Amanda Stalker, who started scoring in this game with that RBI double in the first, will now try to increase it right here.
Amanda Stalker at the plate with 2 on and 2 outs. She's already doubled home a run, and she takes strike 1. Now, Nick, I have a question for you. Does our PA announcer, Joe Calabrese, sound like the new SmackDown ring announcer to you?
I might have to hear him talk again, and I get what you're picking up.
Nick thinks he does. Nick Durst, that is. As Stalker takes outside.
I believe that guy works for UFC and Allegiant Stadium also. I think he's strictly for a Vegas announcer.
Count 1-1 on Stalker. And that's it out to right center. Hit pretty well, but ranging over to her left to make the catch was Rose. And the Dolphins will settle for 2 here in the home second inning. 2 runs on 4 more hits for the Dolphins. They double their lead. Our score, Staten Island 4, Lincoln 0.
Dear softball, where to begin with what you have given me? I have struggled with you at times, but you have unequivocally made me who I am today. You have given me light in the darkest times where I thought light could not enter. Growing up, you were there for me when social groups may not have been. You were there through familiar hard times, and you never gave up on me. You have introduced me to so many influential people in my life, and I wouldn't have dreamt of meeting if it was not for you. You always kept me motivated to pursue a dream. No matter what was going on in life, you kept inspiring me to chase my dreams. And you have taught me many life lessons of overcoming, perseverance, and what it truly means to dedicate yourself to your craft. You have taught me that success is not guaranteed or promised, and that it is earned every second of every day. Softball, you have guided me, pushed me to be my best, and inspired me. You kept me going when I thought I had no more to give. At times, you were my last hope. You have led me to this moment here, today, where I could not be more indebted to you. My name is Jenna Lilly. I am a senior softball player at the University of Oregon, majoring in sociology with a minor in psychology.
Third inning from the CSI softball complex about to get underway. Kaylin Dove will lead things off for Lincoln.
Number 20, Kaylin Dove.
Back-to-back two-run innings for the Dolphins show. A 4-0 lead in this game. They've given Kennedy Ruth an early cushion in this one so far.
Lions have gone down 1-2-3 twice in this game as Dove takes a strike.
Boy, would CSI love another potential run rule game. They're halfway there so far.
The 0-1. Bounce to second. Warner has time. And she throws out Dove for the first out.
A 2-pitch out to start this inning for Ruth as they get Dove to retire the first out.
That will bring up Kevin Jones.
The catcher, number 10, Kevin Jones.
7, 8, 9 coming up in this half inning for the Lions. 7 already retired. Jones hitting in the 8th spot. She swings and misses for strike 1.
Another fastball right there from Ruth, and we've seen that a couple times so far in this game. She's gotten it right past that hitter. And this time Jones was the one that swung just a bit late.
Assuming this game remains 4-0, Nick, do we see Kennedy Ruth come out for the 4th inning?
I don't know.
I agree with you. I think we may see the Dolphins go to the bullpen.
I could see it because as we talked about this in game 1, folks. The Dolphins, after today, have 2 more games tomorrow, 2 more on Saturday, 2 more on Sunday, and then 2 more next Tuesday. So a lot of games coming up for the Dolphins ahead, and all of those, keep in mind, are all conference games as well.
Looking at the schedule, Nick, I think the 2 games that you have to have in that bunch are the games against Mercy. I think you have to have both.
Yes.
At 1 and 5 in the conference, I think you have to have both. As that's taken inside, 3 and 1. I think with the way that tiebreakers often play out, they might need to take 3 or 4 from Stack as well. Here comes the 3-1. That's a called strike 2, but given the start in conference play, the Dolphins are in a hole at 1 and 5, and this 5-day stretch coming up could very well decide their fate in terms of playoffs.
Biggest stretch of the season by far for CSI.
That's fouled off, and keep that away from the camera, please. So
the camera's already had enough.
It's already taken 1 foul ball at baseball. How it survived, I don't know.
What would be worse, a baseball hitting it or softball?
Baseball.
Not that
baseball, because the baseball hits it on a line. The softball is a pop-up.
Not that should be a conversation
and
we should be
having.
having.
Strike 3. Jones goes down looking for the second out.
Jones thought she had a walk right there, but that inside pitch was just in on the strike zone for strike 3. Another punch out for Ruth in this game, and now 2 gone the 3rd.
Lanaya Jex at the plate now. She takes high, ball 1.
The second baseman, number 1, Lanaya Jex.
I will say, I can distinguish the home and the road team when Joe does PA for softball, as that's fouled off. I think part of the reason it was harder at baseball is because we don't have an easy time hearing it with our headsets on.
Well, you could definitely distinguish Lou Matrone's PA
you sure can.
Baseball. You could definitely tell his.
Yep.
He sounds so distraught once the opposing team comes to the bat.
I've never heard someone announce visitors with more disdain than Louis Matrone. Count 1 and 2 here on
Does
Jets.
that show bias in his voice by him doing that?
He's supposed to be
He's
biased.
supposed to.
He's the PA
He's supposed to
announcer.
be, but at the same
we
time.
can't be biased. Here comes the 1-2 that's popped up.
I see that one at least, Joe.
2 hands, Joe.
We saw them fighting earlier. No
Pat
fight. No fight there.
snatched the ball from Joe. He said,
Really did.
that is mine. He was showing off those wide receiver hands.
And we've seen him make some big catches in those students and faculty, football games. And I think that's probably coming up soon, if I had to guess, right?
Yeah, we have senior day that day,
Senior day, okay.
and I may not be here.
Senior day for baseball or here?
It would be for baseball.
For baseball.
Yep. I don't know how Sal chose the date for that game, but there must have been no other options because he doesn't have our entire crew.
Well, it's okay. We'll be here for the softball game. That's the one that matters the most.
True. Though we are unbeaten in both.
We are. Sure.
Comes the 1-2. That's dribbled foul.
I can tell you, Pat is very worried about that day as well. He's worried that without us there for that football game, we might be in trouble.
He's playing?
It sounded like he was. You might have to talk to him about it.
So he's playing instead of working. I see.
You might have to talk to him. He might not
we know who the real ones are.
He might not
now.
know there's a game though that day. In fairness, he might not know.
Count 1-2 on Jex. She takes high, 2-2.
We mentioned game one as well. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks for us here at CSI Sports Net. All the softball action we have coming up. Baseball is winding down its season as well. Of course, we have Heroes Day, Senior Days for both of these teams coming up.
There's ball 3 to Jex. It is going to be an extremely busy 3.5 weeks coming up through the beginning of May.
Both teams vying for a playoff spot.
And that's blooped straight into the glove of Judson at third base. Side retired, and once again, Kennedy Ruth sets down the Lions 1-2-3. Dolphins come to bat in the third, leading 4-0.
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
Not bad.
So what Olivia Wanzer at the plate to lead things off for the Dolphins here in the home third. And she takes outside for ball 1. So Nick, I've been told, faculty and staff versus students flag football is now May 1st, not May 3rd.
That will certainly be more accessible for our staff, but it doesn't seem like that might be accessible for you that day.
We'll see.
To be determined for Joe Foreman that day.
To be determined is right. Wanzer ahead 2-0 now. That misses up and away, but of course we invite all of our student athletes who may be watching and students and staff as well.
Here's a great question. If I'm there that day, do I bring the equipment and record an episode of the Dolphin Pod maybe?
If you'd like to, that is a good idea. We do plan to record an episode on Saturday as Wanzer draws the walk, but we have a big flag football event going on, and we're going to check that out as part of the Dolphin Pod.
The second baseman, number 42, Olivia Warner.
Olivia Warner, the batter now.
Is that Dolphin Pod going to be before the games on Saturday if there is?
So the plan is for me to call game 1 and then head up. That's
again,
high.
Still weather permitting that day
Weather
as well.
permitting,
We don't
that's
know
right.
the statuses of the games here at softball.
Yeah, if the weather's no good, everything is scrapped. If there's no softball, there is no podcast. The 1-0. Up high. Now, I do have plans in the works. I'm already scheming and rearranging the schedule. But if baseball does make it into the ECC playoffs, I will be back in Buffalo again because the designated site for the championship this year is Buffalo.
Okay.
So back to Buffalo for Buffalo Joe if baseball is fortunate enough to make it that far.
You had a nice time in Buffalo covering the basketball championships. Of course, Staten Island coming just so close in the women's side in that tournament. And we'll have to see if the men's team can make it this year. The baseball team making some noise these last couple days.
They have a lengthy break from conference play. They resume it, I think, a week from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Perhaps a week from Friday.
I think it is a week from Friday.
It's a week from Friday?
I know the game on Tuesday that we are covering here is a non-conference game as well.
So it's a week from Friday. They pick it back up at Stack?
Yes.
No, it is a week
Saturday.
from tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It's Thursday
So they're
at
doing
Stack.
Thursday, Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
What odd scheduling. I know it's for the Easter weekend, but you don't see that very often. And that completely changes things in terms of pitching.
Well, for us as wrestling fans, it gives us a little bit more time to watch WrestleMania that weekend.
Warner ahead 3-1, and she takes ball 4. The Dolphins have the first 2 batters on here in the third.
Both via the walk, so definitely a concerning start to this inning for Sherman. And CSI now with first and second, still nobody out. We'll see if Judson can do something.
Now we'll bring up Taryn Judson. Judson already 1 for 1. The Dolphins picking up right where they left off offensively in game 1 as that's fouled away. But, Nick, they're not only swinging hot bats, but they've been very patient, willing to take their walks, and it's been a good showing for them at the plate.
It's been a good showing from Miguel as well, retrieving the foul balls here today. But, yeah, no, the Dolphins have been doing a great job at the plate as well as in the field, and we've seen good pitching as well along the way.
Count 0-1 here on Judson, and she smokes one to center over the head of the center fielder Rose and all the way to the fence. 1 run in to score. Warner stops at third, and it's an RBI double for Taryn Judson. The Dolphins now lead it 5-0.
Man, did she crush that ball into center field, Joe. No chance out in center for Rose, who's made some great catches here in this doubleheader. And that one over her head. We almost saw the Dolphins almost run out of order because Wanzer and Warner were waiting to see if that ball would get caught. Wanzer initially goes back to second. Warner almost reaches up to her at third. And eventually that allows the Dolphins to get 1 run.
That's grounded to short. Judson was caught in a rundown, and that brief delay to check on Judson allows Paul to beat it out.
So where we count the fielder's choice on
Fielder's
that, bud?
choice. Fielder's choice.
To left fielder, number 12, Alyssa Costa.
Now we'll bring up Alyssa Acosta.
And now that you brought it up earlier, Joe, I hear it now.
You think he sounds like him?
Yeah.
I agree. That's grounded through the middle. Base hit for Acosta. Warner in to score. Judson will stop at third. Paul up to second. And the Dolphins have scored twice now in each of the first 3 innings. They lead it 6-0.
They're making it tough work here at the engineer desk. I'm trying to get all these replays in of what's gone on so far in this inning, Joe. Alyssa Acosta gets an RBI single, increases the Dolphin lead now to 6-0 here in this third inning. Still nobody out.
Pitching change for the Lions, which means a break for us. Jordan Cathy to the circle. Dolphins still batting with nobody out. Bases loaded. Dolphins lead it by 6.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we are back from the CSI softball complex as we get the changes over at the stats desk.
Just a few.
There were a few for Lincoln,
Yeah.
but the one that matters is in the circle. It is Jordan Cathy taking over.
Good on you saying circle, Joe.
That's right. Not Shirkle. In the circle.
Of course, not the other dreaded word. You don't want to say that.
Well, the other Joe committed the Cardinal sin and said now on the mound. I almost had to send him home. But without him, we don't have an announcer.
That's true.
So you're saying I should send him home, Stephanie? It's 0-1 on Anissa Acosta. She grounds one to short. Throw goes to first for the out, and Judson will score.
That was one of the new defensive substitutions that play at short.
Surprised at all? They didn't try and turn two there, Nick?
I am a bit surprised. I thought maybe they had a shot, but I guess maybe they didn't think they would be able to turn it. I'm just a bit surprised, but
Mariah Carcano, the batter now, and once again the Dolphins leading by 7, looking for that all-important 8th run. Dolphins picked up a big 9-run victory over Lincoln last season, then dropped the second game 5-4 as Carcano fouls that one back, 1-1.
so the changes that we had in the sitting, Joe, we have Frederick moving from left to right. We have Richardson moving from right to short. We have Sherman, who was on the circle, moving into left. And we have Cathy now going from short to in the circle on the mound. I said it, Joe. I was so close.
You said in the circle.
I said in the circle, and I said on the mound
Why,
at the end.
Nick?
I don't
Why?
know. Exile me. I'm muting my mic.
You can take a lap around the complex.
I might take a lap home.
I would say
Deduct it from the paycheck.
I would say take a victory lap, but that doesn't.
I
really
was so
apply
close
here.
taking the victory lap.
That's bloop to left.
That
foul ball.
Ooh. Oh, you could hear the spectators. They were not happy with that one.
The aspiring umpires.
How many aspiring umpires do we have here today?
Now, Tracy looks like she thought it may have been fair, but she is certainly biased.
You don't say.
She calls everything fair if the Dolphins are at the plate.
You don't say.
And considering she's only in the third base coaching box with us batting, then always biased.
I'm so upset with myself. I still can't get over what I said. I was so close. It was one word away. I'm gonna think about this for the rest of the day, Joe.
You are haunted.
I'm very
by this
haunted
error.
right now. Look out.
As Carcano was hit by the pitch.
I haven't flinched. I will admit that.
You flinched out of concern.
Yeah. All good spirits. She's okay at first base.
So Carcano moves to first. And
Kevin
Nick?
Jones, the catcher for Lincoln, is enjoying Eileen Balderas' walk-off music a lot.
I have breaking news, Nick.
You're breaking news? Okay.
There is a very special merchandise order. You know what it is.
I know what it is.
Estimated arrival.
I'm
April 24th. We
Ooh.
debut all new merch. That is Heroes Day.
Nice. That's going to be a great time. Now, do we spoil what it is?
We do not.
I was
We-
going to
we
say, I
will-
think we have to
we
keep
will
it a
show
secret.
it on the air and then tell you how to get yours. As that's grounded to third, bobbled. The throw comes home, and the force out is recorded there.
Now, Joe, how many flashbacks are you getting of this song?
Well, considering that the Phillies lost to the Mets in the playoffs last year, I'm not feeling too good about it.
Not good flashbacks.
So Eileen Balderas reached on the fielder's choice, the out recorded at home on the force play, and now Amanda Stalker comes to bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
So the question now is for Heroes Day. We're gonna have a camera that's gonna showcase it for us.
We will have 1 camera on field level and 1 camera up top.
Okay.
So what we'll do, I think,
if we do
the right move is probably you and I down on field level. We'll get Tyler up in the box as our engineer. You and I will be down low in case they need us. And I would presume Lou will be doing our public address announcing.
We're gonna be field level that day.
Well, no, you and I will, during the pregame, be on field
Pre-game.
level to get the shots.
Okay.
Tyler will run it into the broadcast.
I got
Perhaps
you.
I speak as well. We'll get a wireless microphone working. We'll see. A lot of time between now and then. A lot of baseball, a lot of softball. As Stalker takes strike 2, 2-2 now.
It's a project that we've been discussing the last couple of days, and now it's coming into full fruition, and we'll see, what it leads up to.
And Stalker takes ball 3. So the count is full now. You know what that means, Nick?
I was going to get a head start.
Time for the merry-go-round.
Yeah. There's a huge pitch in this game for Kathy here, Joe. Full count, 2 outs, and you're trying to keep the run rule early on in this game from happening.
3-2 on Stalker. The pitch. Hit sharply down the line, base hit. 1 run into score. 2 runs into score. Here comes Balderas, and she will score. It's a bases-clearing RBI double for Amanda Stalker. And the Dolphins have broken this one open. It's 10-0 Staten Island.
Stalker kept fouling off those pitches, Joe, on the inside, and kept swinging and swinging. Finally was able to make contact that got fair, and drills a bases-clearing 3-run double down that left field line. A 10-0 CSI lead. Their 10th hit of this game. We mentioned it, how hot the Dolphins' bats have been so far this season. They continues here today.
And Nick, you cannot pitch her inside.
No.
She's turned on everything in on the hands during these 2 games. I said it last game. They better not miss 2 or elevated on that inner half. Next pitch, ripped down the line. They came inside again there, and once again, Stalker delivers down the left field line.
How about Stalker in this game, Joe? 4 RBIs for her already. Yeah, we're just here in the 3rd, but now CSI is 2 innings away from ending this game once again early.
Count 2-0 now on Olivia Wanzer, and that's chopped foul, 2-1.
We mentioned her first at bat was just a few inches away. More elevation from hitting a home run.
And if you're the Dolphins, obviously this is exactly the kind of result you wanted heading into those big conference games.
And now, Joe, going back to your earlier point, I think they make the pitching change with this 10-run lead.
I'm inclined to say they would, and that they should.
I don't know if they will, but I could very much well see it happening now with this big of a deficit.
I probably would. Why not? You've seen what you want from Kennedy Ruth. 3 up, 3 down in each of the first 3 innings. 10-run lead. I think with all the games coming up, there's a very good chance we see a pitching change. But I did not hear anybody getting warm, so take that into account as well. Count full on Wanzer here, 3-2.
For the second straight game as well, Joe, the Dolphins with a 6th spot in the inning.
Dolphin bats certainly not hampered by the cold weather, as Stalker tried to go to 3rd on the walk, and the tag must have missed because I thought it beat her.
Yeah, I thought so too. And Stalker, once again, with some heads-up base running, she was going on the pitch. Not often do you see, with a full count and the runner on second, the runner going in motion on the pitch. And she
was running
did.
on the pitch?
She was.
That's hit toward the middle and through for another Dolphins base hit, their 11th of the game. It's an RBI single for Olivia Warner, and the CSI lead is now 11-0.
Just keep the line going, Joe, at this point. It's been back to your early point, it's been kind of a merry-go-round for the Dolphins in terms of their hitting performance in this game. Now 11 hits, 11 runs, and an 11-0 lead here in the 3rd inning.
Dolphins putting together what has been their best effort of the season at the plate thus far. You'll have to go back, Nick. I'm not sure they've scored more than 11 runs more than once. They scored 10 in one of the games you covered. I don't think they've scored 11.
Well, they have
they scored
12
12
against Holy Family.
So once.
That's
grounded through the right side for another Dolphins hit. Judson on for the 2nd time in the inning.
They just can't get the Dolphins out at this point, Joe. It's a hit parade right now.
Second at-bat of the inning now for Madeline Paul. Joe having a blast over there.
How could you not with the way the Dolphins are hitting so far?
His vocal cords are going to be toast by the end of this inning.
Now, how many games do we have him for this weekend?
I think
Saturday?
we have him for all of the games except Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we need to make sure he doesn't lose his vocal cords if that's the case.
Well, those games are a big if right now.
That's also true.
Want to know the count here. That's low. So we have Saturday, Sunday on the schedule. Monday was canceled. Dolphins on the road on Tuesday at Duville.
Baseball will be here on Tuesday.
Baseball will be here. Paul hits one on the ground through the middle. Another Dolphins hit. Ball got away just a bit in center field, but not far enough for Warner to think about scoring. And the bases remain loaded. Alyssa Acosta, the batter now.
Or Joe, we saw a high run total in baseball this past weekend, and we're seeing another one here this time at the softball complex. 13-0 lead now, or excuse me, a 12-0 lead now for CSI. 13th hit. That's why.
And Marquise Pickering is here, our athletic communications content creator. Just in time. He's missed 12 runs.
Nah, I got here. They had to move my car.
Moved his car.
Okay. I thought I heard his name. Oh, that was your car. They got you. They got you, yeah. Even Marquise is not exempt from the parking rules on campus. Now, the real question is, as there's a conference in the circle right now for Lincoln, why could I not get out of the staff parking lot? The arm would not go up. I was stuck. Joe had to get out of the car and scan my ID to get me out. The gate wasn't working.
How long were you there for?
I got trapped. I was trapped for about a minute. I said, Joe, take my Dolphin card, get me out of here.
Please.
And then he left the door open, so I couldn't pull forward until I got back to the car.
Hopefully you don't have to have that sequence again happen when you leave here today.
Well, I didn't park in there this time, which means I'm probably getting a ticket now. To be fair, though, blessing in disguise. I got out of the staff lot, and immediately I watched them giving out tickets.
Oh, man.
As soon as I got out.
Brutal. Got to have your parking passes, kids.
Yeah, I'm on site 4 days a month. That's not happening, Nick. It's not happening.
Right? You might need to make it. Can you make yourself that piece of paper?
Of course I can.
Yeah, you might as well just use it for yourself.
I'm the CFO. I can do anything.
You might as well just make it for yourself and use it at this rate.
Want to know the count on Alyssa Acosta, and she takes a strike.
Every single time I leave my car, I have to remember: did I put the paper out or not? Sometimes I do.
What are we going on? 3 years strong?
Might be longer than that.
As long as I've been here.
Yeah, it's probably longer than that.
Well, I haven't been here longer than that. At least not as CFO.
Yeah.
Though really, I've been the CFO from day one. Yeah. As that's taken down and away.
Lincoln still in search, Joe, of that final out of this inning. This has been a 2-out rally, and it will continue.
They won't get it here. The infield was way in, and that allows Acosta to sneak one through. The Dolphins now with 9 runs in the inning and still 2 outs.
And now they're back to the top of the lineup, too. So it's not getting any better for Lincoln in this spot. From one Acosta to now the other one. Here comes Anissa.
So Nick says there is a way to exit the lot. There's a loop in the back, apparently.
Oh, boy,
That's
Joe.
It well to left, and again, the Dolphins will send at least 2 home. Now, the question is, did they have the stop sign on for Paul?
I'll have to check the replay.
The Dolphins may go station to station the rest of the way as they will begin to empty the bench here.
Have we seen an inning like this? Maybe not only at softball, but at baseball. In our times covering these games the last couple of years.
Dolphins.
The Dolphins. I was going to say, go ahead.
They're going to send Jalen Martinez to the plate here.
Dolphins have scored 11 runs in the inning, Joe. You couldn't even put the double ones up there.
I was about to say the scoreboard cannot contain them, Nick. But to your point, we have not seen an inning like this in a long time.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to look up is how many of these hits come with 2 outs?
Most of them.
Right.
Most of them. How many runs were home with 2 outs?
I'd have to look back, yeah.
Maybe none. So Jalen Martinez at the plate. Eileen Balderas remains the on-deck batter. But I have to really think about it, Nick. I think this might be the biggest inning for the Dolphins since they were part of the CUNYAC in Division III.
Yeah.
1-0 the count on Martinez. Any runs before 2 outs, Nick?
Yes.
I thought
Dolphins
so too,
came into
right?
the inning up 4-0. They were up 6-0 when the second out was recorded.
Yeah, so they had 2.
The second out was recorded and a run came in to score. That was that play we thought could have been turned for 2.
And Martinez now is ahead 3-0, so.
Or I should be corrected. It was the Balderas fielder's choice. That was the second out of the inning.
Okay.
So it was 7-0 when the first out
3.
was recorded, and it was still 7-0 when the second out was
They had
recorded.
3 runs. So they've still scored 8 times with 2 outs.
All right.
That's pretty good.
And now they load the bases here.
They've reloaded the bases. Balderas coming to bat.
And funny, as I mentioned, Balderas was the last out of the inning. Stalker got a hit. Wanser got a walk. Warner got a single. Judson got a single. Paul got a single. Acosta gets a single. And that one goes off the glove of the third baseman. Another run's going to score.
That might be a hit, Nick. What do you think?
I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think that's a hit.
I'm sure Balderas wants a hit.
That's 12 in the inning for the Dolphins now. 16-0.
You look at that board, it says 3 straight 2s, but there's more than that third 2 in this third inning.
At a glance, the scoreboard could be a bit misleading.
Yes.
Amanda Stalker back at the plate. Is this her third at bat of the inning?
It might be.
I think Judson started the inning. Judson is 3 batters away. So
Wanser started the inning with the walk.
Wanser started the inning.
Yes.
Okay. So the Dolphins are 1 batter away from sending Olivia Wanser to the plate for the 3rd time in the inning.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen in one game. And we just called a game where 34 runs were
I've
scored.
seen it in the past. That is true. We did just call a 34-run game. That is very true. That's hit sharply. And the Lions will not get an out on the play.
That was the only play they had there, Joe.
Yep. Hit on that one, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And they gave... Oh, no, the error was already there. Never mind. 17 runs, 17 hits, and for the 3rd time in the inning, Wanser comes up to the plate.
Wanser at the plate with the bases loaded, takes high, ball 1.
Marquise wants a grand salami.
Marquise is greedy. Well, I'm hungry, too. I have dinner reservations, you know.
Wait, I love the new mic.
That's fouled back. So, Marquise, these mics were the mics we used in Florida for softball. It condenses the setup. So we decided rather than transport the whole broadcast out here, we'll take what's in my bag. Mini mixer, neck headsets, nice and easy.
Very simple.
They do not make these wireless that I know of. However, they do make them with inputs for a camera. So you could get the 3.5 millimeter and plug it in. You could voice over all of your clips.
What we doing now?
Sounds like he wants a headset.
It sounds like we need more inputs.
Yeah.
We actually do have more inputs here. That's hit sharply through the left side for another base hit. 18 hits for the Dolphins. 18 runs have scored.
Well, I'm running out of storage on capturing all these replays at this rate, Joe. This has been a hitting clinic for the Dolphins here today.
I don't know if we have on record the biggest inning. This isn't it. We've seen some huge innings during the CUNYAC era, but in terms of Division II era, this is definitely the biggest inning the Dolphins have ever had.
And we're going to see Chloe Foster, who pitched in Game 1, Joe. She's going to come in to pitch in the circle this time, as that's it
now
for Kathy.
Let's venture back, Nick. Go to the schedule. We know it hasn't happened this year. Go to last year's schedule. How many times have the Dolphins scored 14 runs in a game? So let's start last year as they make the pitching change. I don't think it happened last year, if I can recall. I don't think they scored 14 in a game. The best way to do it probably, Nick, go to the stats. And then you're going to go, you're going to change it to 24. And then you go game by game. Actually, you know what? Try game highs.
Maybe?
Yeah, try that.
Now in the circle for the Lions, number 18.
12.
Foster.
12 last year, so go to 23 now. So their game high in runs last year was 12.
10 against Holy
10
Family.
in 2023.
This inaugural season, right? 2022.
11 and 20.
11 and 22.
Yep.
21 was their first season
10.
fully in D2. So go back quickly. They didn't play a game in 20. Go to 19. Yeah, there it is, 26. So the Dolphins have scored more runs in this inning than they have scored in any game as a D2 program.
And they still have another full inning to bat. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
It's only the third inning. And the only way Lake can keep the game going, Joe, is they would have to get within 7.
There's a strike to Olivia Warner. 0-1. This has been a historic inning for CSI softball.
For the second time in 3 games for us, Joe. We've watched a team score 18 runs in a game.
That is incredible. Twice in 3 games, a team has scored 18 runs. Now,
so there must have been...
We missed a pitch. Well, we had strike 2. The inning is over. The Dolphins have left the field.
Okay.
And they now lead 18-0. We head to the 4th when we come back.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
First pitch ball here to start off the top of the 4th inning. If you missed that last half inning, folks, it was a very lengthy one for the Dolphins at the plate. Leah Rose leads it off as quickly up the count, 2-0. Dolphins do make the pitching change that we did expect. After Kennedy Ruth goes up, had 9 up, 9 down in this game. It's Brooklyn Mello now on in relief for CSI. Going to get the final 2 innings of this game, give the Dolphins a sweep of this doubleheader. She now falls behind the count 3-0. As we mentioned in that last half inning, today they're marking the most runs the Dolphins have scored in a game since they entered the D2 era. That went in there for a strike. Now the count goes 3-1. I think the one stat I forgot to look at it was how many hits. I suppose how many hits the Dolphins have had in a season in one game. I'll try to see what that total is. Sauer misses for ball 4, and Rose is on with a leadoff walk. So last year the Dolphins had 17 hits. And that 12-run performance against American International. They had 15 against D'Uval back in 2023. That went in there for a strike 0-1 the count. Back in 2022, they had 16. Depending on what they had in 2021, this would be the most hits they've had. And that was 14. So today marks also not only the most runs the Dolphins have scored in the D2 era. So there goes the runner, Rose, to second, and she's just in there safely. So Rose is in safely with the stolen base. She now moves into scoring position. It will give Lincoln a chance to get their first run of this game right here. Frederick the batter at the plate. And Frederick just got a piece of that on the check swing. Count remains 0-2. So as I was making the point earlier, not only is this the most runs this Dolphins have scored since they entered the D2 era, this is the most hits they have gotten since entering the D2 era. 18 hits, 18 runs. And the Dolphins will at least have one more inning to come to the plate as Meller gets the strikeout on Frederick for the first out of the inning. A nice fastball right there for the Dolphins sophomore. Ireland Richardson now will come up to the plate. And this is on the outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Richardson 0 for 1 in this contest. That leadoff walk was the first base runner allowed by the Dolphins in this game. As the count now goes 2-0 on Richardson.
All right, thank you, Nick. We had to figure out how to properly input a runner left early at third base. Now, you can put it in as a pickoff, but is that technically correct? I think that's how you score that.
I think you have to
I think
score
it goes
like that.
down as a pickoff,
Yeah.
but we still have to give a put out. So I went 5 unassisted at third, but really not sure. We haven't had that situation in a long time. Meanwhile, a runner in scoring position for Lincoln here. 1 away in the road 4th inning. And the Dolphins did make the pitching change, as we suspected. Brooklyn Meller into the game.
Joe, I had to look up. I don't know if you heard me while you were fixing the stats issue. There's a strike. The count goes to the full 3-2. I was looking to see how many hits, what's the most amount of hits the Dolphins have had in a game since they entered the D2 era. That is this moment right here with 18.
What was the previous high?
17 last year.
17. And was that the American International game with 12 runs?
Yep.
Balderas sliding stop at short. Runner headed for third. And in there safely is Rose.
A nice sliding play right there from Balderas. Not an easy one.
Her right foot almost gave way there. Gliding across the infield dirt.
Yeah.
Now batting the pitcher, number 18, Chloe Foster.
Chloe Foster will bat here, and she was forced back into the circle as Lincoln struggled to escape the last half inning. Foster had 1-0 now. High ball 2.
You and I might have to tally up the amount of runs we've called this past week, Joe, in these last couple of days.
Well,
where
we
baseball
did one
here
game
today.
with 34, one game with 20, so that's 54.
Yeah.
Last game,
10 runs.
we had 10, that's 64. And now this game,
we're at 18,
we get up to 82. 82 plus whatever is scored the rest of the way. 82 runs in 4 games for us.
And we still have a lot more to go.
At what point do we stop counting? Once a game doesn't reach double-digit combined runs?
I think so, yeah.
Comes the 3-1. Popped up. Shallow right. Drifting back. Stalker, she has it. Side retired. The Lions strand 1 in the 4th. Dolphins come to bat, leading 18-0 when we come back.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Joe, 18-0 lead for CSI in this game. They probably won't be able to reduplicate what they just did in that previous inning, but they would like to at least add to this total before they have a chance to end the game in the next half inning.
Dolphins with not only the biggest inning in the Division II history of the program, but the best offensive performance thus far. And we didn't even check how many innings it took them to score the 12 runs. I do believe that was done in a 7-inning game. I remember calling that game with you.
I think I
Actually,
that
AIC was on the road last year, wasn't it? And then the year before they were here. So that was a road game last year where they scored 12. 2 years ago, you and I covered an 8-7 Dolphins win. I believe it was 8-7 as Warner lines a base hit into left. But we covered an 8-7 Dolphins win 2 years ago, and that was Tracy Garofalo's 300th win.
Yes.
And last year on the road, 12-11. And then if you hit the history button, that was in 7 innings. And then if you go back and hit the history button, let's see how good my memory is. 2 years ago, win 300, hit the recap button. 9-8, not 8-7. I was close. But the Dolphins won both of those games, and one of them was Tracy Garofalo's 300th career win.
You and I always love calling those games against America International for other reasons.
Oh, yeah? Why's
Certainly a buzz.
The puns.
Yeah.
The B puns. So Judson dribbled that one.
Do you think they wanted her to run in that one?
Off the handle of the bat. And the entire bench at once exclaimed, run.
Well, I think her hand was hurting. That's why she didn't run
Just
initially.
What they'll say is, your foot's fine, run. And speaking of B puns, let's just say we'll have some puns for a different kind of animal come April 24th.
True.
A hint
True.
for the new merch drop.
True.
If you don't follow us on social media, you better start.
You're missing out.
That's hit in the air. Shallow center, and it's caught. Warner got too far off at first. She's doubled up.
Yeah, not the double play you want there for the Dolphins, but
You can't get doubled up there only because, let's say it falls, and you're out at second.
wait, Joe, I thought Tracy Garofalo for a second was giving the look towards Warner and saying, "What are you doing?" And she is. She is.
that look. Her first words to Warner.
Oh,
what
man.
was that?
What a phenomenal look we just got at that.
We really needed the camera zoomed in on that moment as Alexandra Frenza will get an at-bat here.
Has she ever had an at-bat, Joe?
Go check.
I had to check. I always think back to what happened last year with Matthew Palomini, the infamous home run in his first ever at-bat.
The dugout is very excited by this.
I'm sure they are.
So you click Frenza's name, full bio. I do not believe she's had an at-bat.
I don't think so either.
Stats. Frenza looks at a strike. First career at-bat. She's behind 0-1.
I can't get that look out of my my face.
That was really funny.
That was an all-time moment right there.
It was a blank stare all the way down the
When
first
she walked
base
out
line.
the dugout, I said, I wonder if that look is towards Warner at first.
And
base
Frenza
hit.
has a base hit. She lines one through the right side, and in her first collegiate plate appearance, Alexandra Frenza reaches with a 2-out single.
And how fitting that the Dolphins' 20th hit of this game, Joe, comes off the bat of someone that hasn't even batted before in Frenza. A 2-out single into right field. And what is it about some of these Dolphins that their first career plate appearances, they get base hits? I mentioned Matthew Palomini's last year with his hit. And now Alexandra Frenza here on the softball complex has herself a hit.
Now, wouldn't it be something if she scored a run?
There's still a chance for that. We saw how big of that 2-out rally was the last inning.
Better hustle. That's hit to left and caught to retire the side. Dolphins through 4 with an even 20 hits and an 18-run lead. Our score, Staten Island 18, Lincoln nothing.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back for the road fifth. Anything notable on the breakboard, Nick?
Nope. Not that I can note of. Joe! Joe! You gotta be kidding me!
I didn't say a word, Nick.
You brought it up!
As that's the line into
You
right
alluded
field
to it.
for the first Lions base hit. Tia Brown on to lead off.
I
the
was
fifth.
just telling the Pat.
That
if there
is
is anyone that's going to say something about it,
I
it's
didn't
going to
say
be
a
Joe.
word.
I know.
You're the one who came back to the commentary desk.
All I
and
said was, Joe, don't say a single word about something that's on the board.
Exactly.
But I wasn't on the
You
headset.
brought my attention
But
to
I
it.
wasn't on the headset to say it. I can't
Technically, you were on the headset. It was around your neck.
I'm
unbiased, so it doesn't matter.
We weren't on the air.
Lions have their first hit of the game. Leadoff base runner here in the fifth. Showing bunt.
I'm sure the Dolphins don't mind that.
Sherman, and she takes a strike.
I'm sure the Dolphins don't mind a hit being on the scoreboard, considering the...
If there was ever a game where it wouldn't be bothersome to give up your first hit in this spot, it's this one.
Especially with the Dolphins on their third pitcher now of this game as well.
Well, Dolphins have had quite the day.
We saw a pitch runner at first base, Veronica Tart, is now into the game.
Pinch runner into the game. Veronica Tart, the pinch runner over at first base now.
A little bit of a delay.
They're getting that change.
Pinch running for the Lions, number 15, Veronica Tarp.
Just having a good laugh. That last half inning, still talking about that face that Tracy Garofalo made at home plate. That is meme worthy.
You don't want to be on the receiving end of that look coming off the field.
No. Certainly a meme worthy candidate right there. That was an unbelievable moment we had there.
That's it on the ground to short. Could be two. Baldera steps on the bag for one. Throws to first. Double play.
Second
Just
time today.
like that. Two gone.
Second time today. She gets 6 unassisted double play. And the Dolphins now 1 out away from a very impressive performance here today.
Now batting number 20, Kaylin Dove.
Lines down to their final out. And that's line into the glove of the diving Warner. There's a way to end it with an exclamation point. As the Dolphins defeat Lincoln University 18-0, their highest scoring effort as a Division II program. CSI sweeps the non-conference doubleheader, and they head into a stretch of critical conference games coming off 2 big wins.
Well, Joe, we talked about wanting to have some confidence and some morale boost going into those 2 games. How can you get more of a confidence boost after this performance here today? Not only do the Dolphins put up 18 runs with 20 hits, but a great way to end the game defensively and a nice play by Warner, who I'm sure, Joe, after what we saw that last half inning, definitely probably made up for what happened on the base pad. A great defensive play and an all-around great day for the Dolphins in terms of pitching and hitting. So we saw a 9-1 early win in Game 1, a 18-0 early win in Game 2, and now those pitchers, as we mentioned, get that well-rested notion that they're going to need now going into a big conference stretch these next couple of days.
And that stretch of conference play begins tomorrow as the Dolphins take on St. Thomas Aquinas College on the road. Dolphins then continue conference play over the weekend. We are back here on both Saturday and Sunday. Mercy on Saturday, and then in a very unusual scheduling, they will face the same team twice in 4 days. Stack on Thursday and Sunday. Those Sunday games back here at the CSI Softball Complex. All of the home games right here on CSI Sportsnet. Catch tomorrow's road games on the ECC Network at Stack. Once again, my name is Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Bavona. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Dolphins sweep the doubleheader behind an 18-0 win here in Game 2.